Can a former Cardiff City and Nottingham Forest manager take Tunisia to the knockout stages for the first time in their World Cup history? Hello everybody and welcome back to Full House Sports. Here myself Charlie, and before the video starts, please like, comment and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated as I try and become a one-man sports news bandwagon. Yes, I did say on the channel the other day, I think it was on my Egypt preview, I accidentally missed out Group F, so my apologies for that. But we are on to Group F now, the 7th group that I've previewed so far. One by one, we are getting there. And next up is the Eagles of Carthage themselves, Tunisia, who have qualified for the tournament before. And if you remember rightly so, actually managed to beat finalist France in their final group game at their last World Cup appearance, when they were knocked out, though still in the group stage, unfortunately, due to the exploits of Australia. Now, it is important to asterisk that was a heavily rotated France side who had already secured their way through to the knockout stages. But it showed that Tunisia were capable of big things at global tournaments. They've qualified as well before that as well. They, of course, played England in the group stages in 2018, but were rather disappointing, getting knocked out, of course, behind England and Belgium. That was a tough ask, to be honest with you. They have, like I say, got a rich history at the tour. They are a heavyweight in terms of African football. Now, as I said at the top, their manager is Sabri Lamouchi, a man who, as a Nottingham Forest fan, I hold quite close to my heart. Before Steve Cooper, there was Sabri, who made us fans dream, and of course, very nearly, took us to the playoffs. In unprecedented circumstances, Forest managed to bottle it on the last day, but that wasn't really on Lamouchi's fault. That was the COVID-affected season as well. And of course, then he went to Cardiff. Things didn't quite work out there, but now the man who is technically French, but is of Tunisian parentage and heritage, comes full circle because he takes charge of the national team of his family. Tunisia are a side, and Lamouchi's sides are known for this, I remember this from watching them at Forest, who defensively are solid. But there is a caveat with that, and that is they don't score many goals. Now, at the AFCON, they were disappointed. They were knocked out in the round of 16 by Mali, and then that was on penalties. And that was seen in Tunisia as a real shock. There was outrage around the nation that they had found themselves knocked out that early in the expanded AFCON. In March, they had 2 friendlies. They played up against Canada and drew 0-0. And that was, I think it's fair to say, a fairly drab affair. It showed 2 things. It showed, 1, that they're very good without the ball, but 2, they're not entirely sure what to do with it. They were defeated in qualifying, it should be said, but they were, and again, not very good in front of goal. More often than not relied on late goals. In fact, most of their wins, if you look at them, came in the last 10 minutes, often coming from set pieces, whether that be penalties or corners. I think this Tunisia side is a side that is going to have to try and negotiate a really tough group. Before I start the rest of the teams, I do think Group F, and every tournament has it, is the group of death. I think you've got 3 nations in Sweden, the Netherlands and Japan who are all very, very good sides and all very evenly matched. For Tunisia, I think a lot of people have already said they perhaps are going to struggle. Now, of course, they do have players plying their trade on these. Hannibal Mejbri is one who has been, again, very good down the Championship with Burnley. And as well, a man who I think has been one of the lights of Celtic season, Tunekti, who actually was once considered a fringe player in terms of Tunisian football, but now has found himself playing really well for Celtic and as well scored in the recent friendlies, which has done his World Cup chances absolutely no harm. One player who has been left out, interesting enough, is Sassi, one of their most capped players, who Lamouchi quite openly said he didn't know if he would make it, and turns out he hasn't, which I think, again, has raised a few eyebrows in Tunisia around the idea that he's not at this tournament. And Elias Ashuri, who has been outstanding for Copenhagen in his 2 seasons there. I think Ashuki and Tunekti are 2 players that they're going to be really reliant upon for creativity and to hopefully get a goal. I do worry for Tunisia at this tournament. A lot of people who know African football have said quite openly they think they might be the wooden spoon holders of this group. The lack of goals is a problem, and I think in a group where drawing isn't going to be enough, all 3 of those teams have got fantastic attacks. Netherlands, Sweden and Japan. You're going to have to be switched on for 270 minutes across the whole 3 games to shut all 3 of them out. I'm not entirely sure Tunisia are going to be able to do that. It's when they concede, and I say when because I think they will, that's when I worry for them. But as an ex-Forest fan and a man who did take Sabri to his heart, until Sabri I wasn't happy, I do hope, I'm going to keep an eye on them because I do hope that they do manage to do well for his sake as well and for the nation of Tunisia. As always, guys, let us know what you think. Please like, comment and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated as a Tropical One Man Sports News bandwagon. As always, have a great day.